Imagine two people, same city, same age, same job, same salary. 5 years later, one of them has savings, investments, and is quietly building wealth. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where all the money goes. Same income, completely different outcomes. Now, here's the question that most people get wrong when they try to explain this. They say it's discipline, or sacrifice, or that one person just got lucky. But what if none of that is true? What if the real difference between those two people had nothing to do with how much money they made and everything to do with something invisible happening inside their heads every single day? Because here's what the science actually shows us. Your financial life is not the result of your income. It's the result of your mindset. And your mindset about money was built, quietly, without your permission, before you were even old enough to earn a single dollar. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see money completely differently. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Let's go back to the beginning, your beginning. Think about the first time you ever heard someone talk about money, really talk about it. Maybe it was your parents arguing about bills at the kitchen table. Maybe it was a parent saying, "We can't afford that," every time you asked for something. Maybe money was never discussed at all, just this silent, heavy thing that caused tension in the house. Here's what most people don't realize. Every single one of those moments was a lesson. Not the kind taught in a classroom, but the kind that goes deeper, the kind that gets absorbed into your subconscious and becomes the invisible operating system running your financial decisions for the rest of your life. Psychologists call this your money script. It's the collection of beliefs, emotions, and automatic responses your brain developed around money based on what you saw, heard, and experienced growing up. And here's the frightening part. Most people are running a money script they never chose, never examined, and never questioned. They're making decisions on autopilot every single day, decisions that feel completely rational in the moment, but are actually being driven by programming installed decades ago. You spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't particularly like. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a quiet voice says, "I'll deal with it later." That voice isn't laziness. That voice is your money script talking. And until you understand it, until you actually look at it, it will keep running your financial life without your awareness or your consent. So what exactly is a money mindset? And why does it matter more than your actual income? Think of your mind like a smartphone. Your income is like the data plan. It determines how much you can use. But your money mindset is the operating system. It determines how efficiently all that data gets used, where it goes, and whether the apps running in the background are helping you or quietly draining your battery. Two phones, same data plan, completely different operating systems. One runs everything smoothly and still has battery left at the end of the day. The other burns through everything and still runs out before noon. This is exactly what happens with money. There are two fundamental money mindsets that psychologists have identified, and virtually every financial decision you make is being filtered through one of them. The first is the scarcity mindset. A person with a scarcity mindset experiences money through the lens of fear. There's never enough. Even when there is enough, the brain is convinced there won't be for long, so it prioritizes the present over the future. It spends to feel relief. It avoids investing because investing feels like losing something now in exchange for something uncertain later. The scarcity brain is always playing defense. It's protecting against the threat, even when the threat isn't real. And here's the cruel irony. Research shows that when people are under financial stress, their cognitive capacity actually decreases. Their brain is so consumed with managing fear and scarcity that it has measurably less mental bandwidth available for clear thinking and smart financial decision-making. The people who most need to make intelligent financial decisions are operating with a reduced capacity to make them. This is what researchers call the bandwidth tax of poverty, and it creates a cycle that feels almost impossible to escape from the inside. The second mindset is the abundance mindset. A person with an abundance mindset experiences money through the lens of possibility. Money is a tool. Debt can be strategic. Spending now versus investing now is a calculation, not an emotion. Risk is something to be understood and managed, not avoided entirely. The abundance brain is always playing offense. It's looking for leverage, opportunity, and long-term growth. Now, and this is critical, having an abundance mindset does not mean being rich. You can earn very little and operate from abundance. You can earn millions and be completely consumed by scarcity. The mindset and the bank balance are two separate things. One causes the other, and it's not the one most people assume. Deeper insight. Here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain doesn't experience money as numbers on a screen. It experiences money as emotion, as identity, as safety, as proof of your worth as a person. This is why people who win the lottery and suddenly have millions of dollars often end up broke within a few years. The numbers changed, the mindset didn't, and the mindset always wins. This is also why people who build genuine wealth from nothing, people who started with less than you have right now, are able to keep growing it, multiply it, and pass it on. The numbers started small, but the mindset was already operating at a level that made wealth the inevitable outcome. There's a concept in psychology called cognitive reframing, and it's one of the most powerful tools you can apply to your financial life. Here's a simple example of how it works. A scarcity mindset hears a price and thinks, I can't afford that. An abundance mindset hears the same price and asks, how can I afford that? These aren't just different words, they're different neural pathways. One is a full stop. The other is an open question that sets your brain searching for solutions, strategies, and possibilities. The scarcity response shuts the door. The abundance response keeps it open. And neuroscience shows us something remarkable here. The brain is not fixed. It's neuroplastic, meaning it physically rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and patterns. Every time you practice an abundance response instead of a scarcity response, you are literally building a new neural pathway. And every time that pathway gets used, it gets stronger. This means your money mindset is not a personality trait you were born with. It's not something fixed or permanent. It's a set of patterns, and patterns can be changed. The wealthiest people in the world are not smarter than you. They are not more talented than you. Many of them didn't start with more money than you. What they have is a consistent set of mental habits around money that compound over time, exactly the way interest compounds in an investment account. Small differences in thinking, massive differences in outcome, over time. So what do you actually do with this information? 3 things, starting today. The first thing is to audit your money script. Take 10 minutes and write down every belief you carry about money. Every sentence that starts with money is, or rich people are, or I always end up, or people like me don't. Most people have never seen their money beliefs written down on paper. When you see them in front of you, 2 things happen. First, you realize how many of them came from somewhere outside of you, from things you heard, not things you chose. Second, they start to lose their automatic power. A belief you can see is a belief you can question. The second thing is to start replacing scarcity questions with abundance questions. Every time your brain automatically says, I can't afford it, pause, then ask, how could I afford it? Not to convince yourself to spend money you don't have, but to train your brain to search for solutions instead of closing down at the first sign of financial pressure. Do this consistently and something starts to shift, not overnight, but gradually, the way any real change happens. The third thing is to feed your brain evidence of abundance every single day. Your brain believes what it sees repeatedly. If every piece of content you consume is about celebrity gossip, drama, and comparison culture, your brain builds a reality around scarcity and status. But if you deliberately fill your mind with stories of people who built wealth from nothing, with financial education, with examples of how money actually works, your brain starts building a different reality. You become what your mind is fed.
And in the age of infinite content, you have complete control over what that is. Here's the thought I want to leave you with today. Every financial decision you've ever made, every purchase, every avoided investment, every impulse buy, every time you said yes or no to an opportunity was filtered through a mindset you probably never chose consciously. The question is not whether you have a money mindset. You absolutely do. The question is whether yours is working for you or against you. And the most important thing I want you to take from this video is this. The gap between your current financial reality and the one you want is not a money gap. It's a mindset gap. And mindset gaps can be closed. Not with a magic strategy or a get-rich-quick system, but with the slow, deliberate,
incredibly powerful practice of changing how you think. One belief, one question, one decision at a time. Fix the mind, the money follows. If something in this video made you stop and think, if you recognized your own money script somewhere in here, drop a comment below. Tell me what you noticed. I read every single one. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone stuck in a cycle they can't seem to break, share this video with them. It might be the most valuable thing you send them this year. Subscribe to Alpha Money Pro for weekly money psychology videos that don't just teach you about money, they change how you think about it. See you in the next one.